Welcome to Networking Unleashed, Building Profitable Connections, the show where conversations don't stay small, they turn into real business wins. I'm Michael Forman, and welcome to my podcast. Today's episode is for every entrepreneur, leader, and fast thinker who's ever felt like their brain runs on a different speed and wondered if that was a problem. What if it's not? What if ADHD isn't a weakness? What if it's your edge? And what if the rise of AI and automation isn't here to replace connection, but to finally give people like you the structure to build ones? Today's guest brings a powerful mix of perspective and practicality. We're talking about ADHD as a different operating system, not a limitation. We're talking about using AI and automation to run lean without losing the human side of business. And most of all, we're talking about how the way you think you can turn everyday conversations into serious opportunity. If you've ever felt misunderstood in business, if you move fast, think big, and refuse to fit in a box, this episode is for you. So let's get into it. I'd like to welcome Andre. Andre, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. It means a lot to me. Would you just mind introducing yourself to my listeners and give us a little bit of how you got here today?
So one thing before I start, I have to mention, I don't know if I can introduce myself better than the way that you already introduced everything that I do. And I do a lot of podcasts, but it was the best way to describe the stuff that we're trying to teach people and show them. So I actually want to thank you on the way it was described. So my name is Andre. Andre, I live in Canada. I moved to Canada around 15 years ago. I'm originally from Israel. Kind of background from back home. I had many years that from a place of discipline, I practiced martial art for many years. I served the Israeli army, and I'm very proud that I have ADHD, OCPD, and I'm dyslexic. And as you mentioned, they are my superpowers. When I moved to Canada, I started working as a locksmith very fast. I opened my own company, and from there, we opened a security integration that we provide services today all over Canada and some areas in the States. I also own a company called D8 that is for glazing, commercial glazing, and aluminum. And I have pretty much the company that I'm the most proud of right now because it's something that is very close to my heart, that is Metador. And Metador is exactly what we're going to talk today. It's about leadership, it's about AI, ADHD, and everything in between.
That sounds wonderful. And we could probably have this podcast for 3 hours, but we don't have that kind of time. So I'll try to hone you in and get the answers from you. You describe ADHD as a different operating system, not a limitation. When it comes to networking, what strengths does that operating system give people that others overlook?
So when you're doing networking, you're technically meeting strangers all day. You're going to do sales, you're meeting strangers. I call it my scanner eyes. When I go to someone's office for the first time, I scan it right away. I can see hobbies, I can see family pictures. If I don't see, I'm able to categorize the person I'm sitting in front of him. So I know how to fit the dialogue between them in a way to create kind of interaction. I'm able to listen to what people here saying to me during conversation and already build the second and the third and the fourth part of that conversation, what is giving me an edge of how people is thinking. And with the years, I built a system that it's even making it easier because it's already have templates in my head. So it's also able to create experience for people during when they meet you. So for example, when you meet someone, let's say you called a repair guy for your house to fix your dishwasher, for example. You have a template in your head that you're expecting that person to come with a work van or a pickup, cargo pants, work clothes related, a binder. If that person now is coming with a suit, something does not fit here. Now, it's up to him when he's coming with a suit to create an experience. If he create a positive experience from that transaction, he cannot fit in the repair guy box. And in that way, it's creating a new experience, what is creating something that you want to tell to other people, what is helping with networking, because what I hear a lot from our customers, we had a guy coming here to give us an estimate for the security guy, and he came with a suit and he had a bun with the long hair, like everything that they didn't expect, and it created an experience from everything that also create friendship, because now he's curious to know like why he doesn't fit to that box. And as a person with ADHD, we don't fit in boxes, so we just create our own open box.
Yeah, and as when you ask questions, that brings you to another level of conversation and everything else. You have to be inventive. You have to ask those questions. And I too have a template of sorts when I'm first sitting down with somebody. I use something called FORM, family, occupation, recreation, and a message. And I try to get to them on that one of those levels. So I just let that person talk because people love to talk about themselves, so you
Yep.
just let them talk and you always listen. You don't really talk, you listen. The more you listen, the better off you're going to be. Okay, I digress. Many professionals with ADHD struggle with follow up and consistency. What systems or habits have you helped you turn fast thinking into real business relationships?
Okay. We don't have, like you said, we don't have a lot of, it's not a long podcast for a few hours. So I'll say it in short because I have many systems. So
I'm
for
sure.
example, yeah. Uh, for example, we have our main office for the company, for each company. I have my own office that is detached from everything, literally a different unit that is separate. The reason for it, I cannot hear stuff, so I can stay focused. All my windows are covered, always. I don't see shadows. I usually always have my headphones on. I have my own specific music that I like, that I found that is really good for my focus. It's a mix between classical music and rave together. It sounds crazy, but it's really nice. It's creating tempo when I work, and a lot of task list. I have a lot of apps. For example, I have no social media, even that I have LinkedIn, but it's managed by one of my team. I don't have access to it. I can't. I cannot access anything than just use a regular phone, to be honest. So there is nothing to distract me. My browsers cannot go over 20 tabs because no side, again, there is the stuff that I need. And I built a system that we built under the Zoho platform. It took me a few years. We actually got a few awards for it, that it's built the same way as, in a way, my brain. So if I have a meeting with you, automatically it's creating me a task. And if I'm not doing the task in the right timeline, it's going to bug me. And there is no way to stop it but just finishing it. So when we have over 158 automations built in on that system in different areas, first of all, in a way to save time, save clicks, and in that way to mainstream stuff that have to be done in a very specific way. And I have an assistant and also operation manager. I call them my gatekeepers. Every time if I'm slacking or not getting, they keep me accountable. And if they have to give me shit, sometimes it's on a weekly basis, they will put me in place because I hire them to fit my personality in way to help me to excel.
That's very good because half the problem with being a business owner or multiple business owners is accountability. You don't
Mhm.
want yes men around you saying, "Oh, yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea." No, you want somebody to give you feedback and say, "No, you're wrong. You have to do it this way." Or, and listen, you as the owner, you take all the recommendations, take all the information, and you do with it what you think is best. But if you don't have those people around you, then you have nowhere to go. It's you don't achieve as much as you have by having yes men.
Exactly. I people that work with them directly, their job descriptions is to find my mistakes and to point them out to me, and they are have to be very extremely different than me. So in that way, I like the data coming from them. They'll show me a different point of view, and they're also going to be add the stuff that I'm not able to add, or to be honest, to be able to do it much better. I always like to hire people that can do stuff much better than me. As ADHD, we're more visionaries. We're what is called wartime CEOs. We're not peacetime CEOs. If in peace, we're going to make wars. So we're good to come for a specific operation, finishing it, and go to the next one. We're not the one to sustain it, and because we cannot sustain it, it's also not good for our staff under it to give them stability. So we need people that are opposite, so staff can stay with us. And in the end of the day, our team is what is growing the company. It's not a one-person show. So we need to have the different type of people.
It sounds like you have the right people around you. I like to think of myself somewhere in the middle. I may lean a little one way or the other, but I like to think of myself somewhere in the middle. But I too don't surround myself with yes men. I have to accept what they're saying. But it sounds like you found the right people and that you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm super grateful and very lucky that I have good people around me. It's my biggest success.
You teach that focus doesn't come from force, it comes from design. How can business owners shape their networking style so it fits their brain that already works?
First thing first, being honest. So you need to honest who you are, what type of person you are. Don't try to play a character because, again, it's not sustainable. You need to be who you are, and even that if you're, some people don't think they are enough, so they're trying to be something else. The people that you want to know, the people you want to network, they will be able to see it, and then it's not good reputation for you. So I always say, step number one, be you, even if it doesn't fit to a specific group. But even a specific group would like to have something different because it's honest. People attract to honest people because they give a feeling of cleanness and honesty that come with that, even if they don't have the same point of interest or anything. And secondly, like you said, ask questions. So the second you're asking questions, don't hear someone saying something in conversations and pretend. And I usually like to say, like when I go to meetings with my lawyer and the accountant and they speak keywords I don't know, I always tell them, guys, I pay you guys a lot of money, please speak English so I can understand what's going on in this meeting as well. And but the same thing when I go with a customer. If a customer mentions a word or someone that I meet in a networking event, I don't understand, I don't pretend I do. Worst case, if I really don't want to, I'm afraid to ask, I'll Google it right now so I can get into the conversation. But be curious, and by even asking the question, nobody will think less of you. If you actually, this is your input into the conversation. And then you understand better, and for sure you have something to say because you're there in that event anyway. So you are related in a way.
What you are describing is being authentic. You have
Authentic.
to be authentic to yourself. And that's a word that is thrown around quite easily. Everybody and every podcast you could ever imagine on every website. Oh, be authentic, be real, be authentic, be real. And it's not just words. If you don't feel it and truly do it, people will see right through you, first of all, and give you like 2 minutes of their time and move on. But if you
Yeah.
want to stay with the conversation, you want to be authentic, and you have to listen and you have to ask questions. All of these combined together gives you the greatest outcome.
Yeah. And the one thing I also found from networking that was one of my biggest tool, if you give before you accept to receive, you're going to receive much more.
That's called having a servant's heart. That's called because you're looking to give rather than receive.
Yeah.
And that's all part of I do workshops, I do keynotes, I do all breakout sessions. And as I'm discussing what you do when you walk up to a table, let's say, and you have somebody talking to you, at the end of the form and everything else, before you even describe what you do, you come out with something like, I like you. I like how you do business and the way you're doing it. How can I make you more successful? How can I be a good referral source for you? And if I did my job correctly, they'll say, Mike, I don't even know what the hell you do yet. And you're already trying to make me more successful? Yes. So that is having a servant's heart. So you hit the nail right. You hit the money. Okay. AI and automation are becoming standard tools for lean businesses. How
Yeah.
can these tools help people who think fast and juggle many ideas stay connected instead of overwhelmed?
So I think when you say, I think today, if you're actually going to look in the dictionary, AI equal overwhelm for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's because that there is a lot of videos going online saying, hey, I built a company for AI and I did $1 million in my first month. That is the false advertising around it. Secondly, false advertising, AI is going to take people's jobs. AI is not going to take people's jobs. Someone that know how to use AI will take people who don't know how to use AI jobs. That for sure. The way that I represent, because I work with a lot of companies that I introduce AI, their organization, and the way that I introduce it, I'm saying, think about a carpenter. There is a new type of drill that came up, a bigger battery, more circles on the engine, it's more resistance and everything. You want to go and buy it right away because it's better, it's lighter, the battery can last for longer. AI is the same thing, it's a tool.
I couldn't have said it better myself. As you were speaking, I was like, those are the words that I want to use because that's all AI is. AI is a tool, and you have several tools that you use in business, and AI is just one of the tools, and you have to learn how to use it correctly. Just like that drill. You don't know how to use a drill correctly, you're going to get into a lot of trouble because you're going to make holes in places you never thought of. But
Exactly.
once you learn how to use it, it's beautiful. So that's what it is. AI is a tool, and I can't go ahead. No, I can't improve on what you said.
Yeah, AI is a tool, and the second you're taking that tool, first of all, it's a connection tool. AI, for example, for myself, if I had to send you a text freely without using any type of app that kind of help, I won't able to read it myself. If I had to write it, forget about it. AI bridging that gap, it's not an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not an issue anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm in your camp when it comes to that. Okay, when I'm writing down notes, when I'm talking about something or somebody, or in a meeting, or taking a class on the web, I write and after a break, I look at my notes. I'm going, I can't read my notes. I might as well not have taken them because I can't read them. All right.
Yeah.
Most networking advice assumes everyone works the same way. What advice would you give someone who feels out of place in traditional networking rooms?
So I do find, especially when I started doing business consultation, I found that all businesses, anywhere from a guy that's working from the back of his truck to a guy that owns 1,000 trucks, it's a same problem, different scales at the end of the day. And the understanding that you now understand that the person is not different than you in a way. It's not that if he's running a company that is bigger, you're actually the lucky one. If you're in a small company, you don't have the stress he's having. He's actually jealous of you, not you jealous of him. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. Every step you're taking for growth of business, you're taking at least 5 to 6 steps back in your income, in your peace of mind, in so many different stuff that I was telling a lot of technicians that worked for me over the years. And then when they moved to be a contractors, I told them before, when you guys finish a job, you went home and sleep and you slept well. Now you guys are business owners. Welcome to the world of people that don't sleep because the brain doesn't stop.
That's right. That's right. Everybody wants to work. I've been working for myself for 100 years, and I went corporate. I worked corporate for about 15 years. Beforehand, I started off in the military. Then I went into my own business. Then I went corporate. I went back to my own business, and I'm doing this now. And everybody always wants to have their own business. I said, sure, you want your own business because you work half a day. They said, you do? I said, sure, 12 hours a day is half a day. And it's and they're going, wait a minute. I said, no, and that's on a good day. And it's a whole lot more that goes to it, but that's for another day. You talk about turning ADHD into an advantage. Can you share a moment when your thinking style directly led to a connection or deal that might not have happened otherwise?
I actually have many of them. The biggest thing is when I go meet with customers, I don't prepare for meetings. I can't actually. It's going against me if I will prepare because I know the subject I'm going to speak about or what we're going to, if we're buying a company or selling a product, but I won't prepare. I won't do research of who is there in the meeting, because I don't want to create what I call baggage, something that will influence me in the way or create excitement or stress in a way. But because of the ADHD, it's giving the tool. The second I come inside the room and I see everybody in front of me, and it's giving me an options to, I feel it's like a machine that's starting collecting data on everybody by the way they sit, the way that they're dressed, the way that their eyes, if they're engaged, they're not engaged, and everything. And then I know who I want. Like sometimes I will point at most of the conversation on one person that I know is not a decision maker, but I know it's going to annoy the other person, and it's creating him more attention because he's expecting me to be with him.
Right.
So enjoy it. It's like a game for me. And it's every meeting that I go, or even podcast that I go, I found that because of my ADHD, it will be hard for me to prepare it. And if I'm not preparing, I'm able to excel much better because technically I'm training my ADHD. Go loose, run, do it. Give me the data that you want. And
Yeah.
it's the area that you thrive at.
Yeah. No, I feel, especially on podcasts, that if I try to prepare, that will hold me back.
Yep.
I can't allow, because I'm too busy trying to remember what I'm trying to remember instead of just free falling. And it's just that much better. And when you walk into that room, that meeting, you're picking up the body language of all the people, as you said, how they sit, how they look at you, how they're dressed, how they're motioning, their hands, their feet, their face. You have to take all that in, and you have about 5 seconds to get all that information,
Yep.
which you do without a problem. It's something that you have to train yourself to do. And then you can very quickly move on to the next thing. So it's very astute.
No,
Okay.
there is a saying that I learned it very well on myself over the years, and actually I saw it a few days ago. And it's saying there is two options. It's or I'm going to win or I'm going to learn. So I learned a lot, let's say this way. I tried a lot of stuff that people will say it won't work. And I was like, but I want to try it. I think that maybe I can do something. Some of them I succeed, a lot of them I fail, but I learned so much from my failures. So it's something you have to train and learn a lot. That way you're actually, it's a skill. In the end of the day, ADHD is a skill. You need to train it, like AI as well.
Yeah. I like what you said. I like either you're going to win or you're going to learn,
Yeah,
right? Because you learn so much more from your failures than you do of your successes. If somebody's successful always, then they'll never achieve that next level. But once they fail, they'll say, oh, you know what? I did that wrong. Let me make this better. So you're going to learn from it. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Many people fear they come across as scattered or intense. How can professionals own their own energy in conversations without trying to water it down?
so how so pretty much as a person, as I just want to understand that I understand the question. So as a person that has ADHD, how I'm not overwhelming the other people in the conversation.
Right, because it's very easy to appear as that you're fearing that they view you as being a scatterbrain, right?
Yeah.
Or you're too intense.
So
How can professionals own their own energy in conversations without trying to water down their information?
so there is two things. One, if you meet a customer or networking or so on, it's a one scenario that you need to more to control, because there is a percentage of how much. So when I meet with someone, we have to keep 70-30. So 30% we're going to speak about what is the meaning for the meeting, and 70% we're going to speak about anything else, because this is where we're actually networking. This is my rule. Now, from that time that we're speaking, I have to keep my involvement in the conversation under 50%. So I'm allowing the person to speak up. This is my rules that I'm trying. So it's something I remind myself all the time of. There is percentage that have to be done. So numbers is something is helping me, because this is creating a structure for me. If, let's say, with employees, part of our onboarding, people who work with me directly, it's my question: did you ever work with a person with ADHD? And if they say no on the second interview, I ask that again. If they still don't know, first of all, I know they're not for me because I'm not curious enough to check stuff. And then we check. And a lot of the team that's working with me, they're aware and they'll tell me, Andre, you're getting out of the subject. Let's go back. And I'm okay with that because this is also the type of people that I put around me to help me. And this is the people you said. But even my customers, if I have to type something as I do a presentation and everything, I start, guys, I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. So I have to speak to the computer. It'll be easier so I can get the proper stuff. But I also bring it as a joke, not as I have a disability. This is who I am.
When you own it, when you own the problem, it's not a problem. I apologize. When you own that type, when you are ADHD and you own it, yes, I am. And look, you accept me for what I can do because I could do some great things for you as
Yep.
long as you understand that I have this ADHD. And it's when you're sitting down with somebody, and you said you always talk less than 50%, which I found it was hysterical because when I first sit down with somebody, I let them talk. Like the first 10 minutes of our conversation is all about them. And it's all about them talking about, I use FORM and I listen to them and I respond to what they're saying. And there's another little trick that I've learned, and I'm just going to take 2 seconds to tell you. When you walk into somebody's office, and pictures on the rear credenza facing out their family. That means that they are open to you talking about their family, saying, oh, that's a nice picture. That's a nice wife, your daughter, your son, whatever. If they have pictures on the front cadenza facing him, you stay away. You don't talk about that because he doesn't want you to discuss his family. So it's a little thing that I picked up. So maybe you can use it in future reference.
It's actually a good scenario because there is people that you want to give them the percentage of to talk so they share and they don't. This is usually I have a scenario that I'll start being very sharing in a way to create comfortable. I shared first, so now you can in a way to break the ice because some people are getting very excited from that interaction. So you want to create them again. My goal is to create a good experience from our meeting because I need to build a new box in your head, in my head. So there is different way to do it. But again, as you told me about the pictures, it's like my head just ran on a lot of meetings that I had, and who had the pictures with the back to me. And again, most likely it's going to bug me now until I'll figure someone that was like that, but I don't remember.
But the next time you walk into an office, you're going to see pictures either in the front or the back, and you go, "That's what Michael said." All right, I know now. I know.
You create
All
you
right,
create an experience. You open a box. You open
that's
your box.
absolutely correct. Absolutely. With automation handling more tasks, human connection matters even more. What should people double down on in conversations that technology could never replace?
Technology can understand how to do a task, know why we need to do it. So there is many whys in a person, there is many whys in a business. And again, a lot of people are talking about the whys. And a why is something that is change. That when, let's say I speak with our sales team and they say, all right, the customer want to do X, Y, Z. Why? Because this is what he asked. Why? Why does he want to do it? What does it matter? But this is what he asked and he's willing to pay for it. What does it matter? I said, the why is important because the why equal to the ROI. How we can measure our success, providing him the solution that he needed, if we don't understand why he needed it. Because maybe the reason he's thinking he needed it, it's not a good reason. And many customers, I told them, hey, it's not the right solution for you guys. It's like, yeah, we want, no, it's not going to help for what you want. They're the most loyal people and the friends that are my friends right now around me because I was honest with that. AI will never get to that level.
You weren't just looking for the dollar. You were looking to help your customer. And that's such a big difference. AI can give you an answer, but they can't give you the emotional support that goes with it. And that's what you're bringing to the table. And that's what I believe your clients understand. And that's
Yep.
why you're so successful.
The way that I introduced to a lot of people I told them when someone is, let's say, a receptionist, she has days that she has her voice saying like it's her birthday, she's super happy, and there is days that they're not very good. She had argument with her husband or spouse or whatever. So people are going anywhere between 50 to 80, up and down. AI provide me a steady 70.
Right.
And I'm not expecting over 70 because it's steady. That is what it can give me. The rest, this is about us. And this is why AI won't take our jobs. Because AI cannot go over 70. AI cannot go over 70. And that is what people need to understand, that AI won't grow without us.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. But again, that goes back to AI being a tool and you know how to use it correctly. Okay, so you work with leaders who want to learn, who want lean teams and strong relationships. What habits separate the ones who build lasting networks from those who just collect contacts?
First of all, usually for a lot of businesses that let's say they read about the lean process or whatever, they come. So first of all, a business that want to convert himself to be a lean, it's only in two situations. Or it's a brand new business that we can start over that way. It's a mindset. Or it's a business that the management, it's what I call in the pain level is 7 and up. Because when people are in a high pain level, they're willing to make changes, first of all. Also understand that doing changes to be lean, it's also making a lot of hard decision about the way that you operate. It's about who is need to be involved in the business, how we're going to be operate, show example on yourself. As a person with ADHD, again, Amazon love me. I buy a lot of stuff, like I'm an impulsive buyer. When we moved to be a lean business, the same thing that I was preaching to everybody, and we call it every dollar has a name. It starts with me. So the first thing I did when we started implementing stuff, I had a driver that will drive me from one job to another to see the job so I can work. I fired my driver. My driver was a luxury. Even that it was helping me with a lot, but it's a luxury. So the stuff is starting for me, how we're showing it and how we implement it. And the secondly is also we're showing a lot of dashboard of showing, because we work that way, look our improvement. Look at how we did it. So we need people to buy into that area and understand it, because business that is lean is not, it doesn't build like a triangle. It's a one line. Everybody's together. Everybody is a part of it. I usually recommend to have a profit sharing as well, because you need information from every department. Lean that is business with automation, that means there's a lot of repeatable tasks that's happening in the background through the systems, but the conductor that manages that department has to be a strong one, and one that he care about the business as it is own business. And when he has profit sharing, technically it is own business minus the liability. So it's all about the team. And a lot of people that they're just thinking about how they can improve the P&L by the profit and loss by doing lean. It doesn't work. It's a team effort. It's like in the army.
Absolutely.
I serve as a fighter engineer, so we deal with explosive. I cannot do my work if again, we don't have Marines in Israel, but similar to the Marine, they will protect the area without the K9 unit, without the paramedic. Each one of them won't be there. My skills doesn't work much. And it's exactly.
I'm behind you 100%. I'm behind you 100%. I was a police officer in the Air Force 9 years. And
Okay.
I went from being a simple patrolman to the law enforcement flight supervisor, which is like a lieutenant on the police force. And it takes everybody to work. You can't just have one person do one thing and expect everything to come out right. You need the work of everybody. And when everybody works together, oh, you can do so much more. You can. All right. So let's bring this podcast full circle. If someone listening feels misunderstood in business because of how they think, what's the first mindset shift that helps them show up with more confidence in every room they enter?
Sure. There is a saying in Hebrew, say, if you say it loud enough, people will hear. Stop keeping the cards close to your chest. Share your ideas, share the stuff. That someone will take your idea doesn't mean he's going to steal it. And you know what? And if he's going to steal it, you can actually learn from him and to see how you can improve it from there more. So to share with people, it will actually bring more people closer to you. And then because they will share with you, and it will create much stronger and you become more interested person that people are actually waiting to see you because they want to see, okay, what is the next thing I was thinking about? What is the new crazy idea I came up with? So if you have a unique idea, show it. Be unique. Be yourself.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Okay, Andre, this was fantastic. Like I said, we could probably talk about things for the next 2 or 3 hours and not get bored. But if somebody wanted to talk to you, hire you, even consult with you, what's the best way for them to get hold of you?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is the best way. Okay. So, what a conversation. Today wasn't about ADHD. It wasn't just about AI. It was about finally owning how you're wired and using it to better build relationships, better systems, and better results. If your mind moves fast, if this episode gave you permission to stop apologizing for it, if you've been unsure how you stay organized in a world that never slows down, you now have the tools that work with you, not against you. And if you're wondering how real connection fits into tech-driven business world, you heard it loud and clear. People still win business from people. So here's your move after today's episode. Use the tools, trust your style, show up fully in every conversation because the right connection at the right moment can change everything. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who thinks differently, thinks boldly, and deserves to hear this message. I'm Michael Forman, and this is Networking Unleashed, building profitable connections. We'll see you on the next episode where every conversation has the power to turn into something bigger. Andre, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Well, hold on, folks. Don't go anywhere. Let's hear from our sponsors. David Neal, co-founder, Revved Up Kids. Revved Up Kids is on a mission to protect children and teens from sexual abuse, exploitation, and trafficking. They provide prevention training programs for children, teens, and adults. To learn more, go to revvedupkids.org. Henry Kaplan, Century 21. When it comes to making the biggest financial decision of your life, leave it in the hands of a proven professional, Henry Kaplan. Henry is a global real estate agent with Century 21, celebrating his 41st year in business. No matter where you're moving, Henry has the right connections for you. You can contact Henry at 561 427 4888. A huge thank you to our guest for sharing such incredible insights today. And of course, a big shout out to you, our amazing listeners, for tuning in and spending your time with us. If you're interested in my digital courses, being coached, or having me come and talk to your company, just go to Michael and fill out the request form. Remember, networking isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. So take what you've learned today, get out there, and make some meaningful connections. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little networking inspiration. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find me on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, or my website, forman.com/podcasts.